we're technically on time for us. It's 8 p.m. here, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I've been bugging you guys forever, man. Please introduce yourself and let us
I'm
know
Zach.
who you are and what band you play for.
Yeah, no, man, it's super cool to be here. My name's Zach. I play guitar for In the Act of Violence. So yeah, it's really good to chat with you guys today, for sure.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Thank
Appreciate you making
so
the time
much.
and
Yes,
catching
thank
up.
No
you.
worries.
Thank you so
How
much
are you guys doing anyway? How are things
joining
there?
us.
How are things in
We
South
lost
Africa
power
today?
for a bit. Yeah, we lost power for a bit on the rolling blackouts, and I was a little worried. I was like, ah.
And then there was a huge storm. When was it last? No, it wasn't last night. The
2
night
nights
before.
ago, yeah.
The night before that, we woke up with the thunder and the whole house shaking, and it was terrible.
Right.
I've got to say, that's the hardest rain I've ever been in my whole life.
No, summer storms are not.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're quite hectic in South Africa.
A friend called me. I was like, I answered the phone just for fun. I couldn't hear a word because the fucking rain was so loud. Right? Like,
Oh wow. Well, we've been lucky. We've had a pretty mild winter here so far. It's sun's shining today, so yeah, it's good. Because obviously during the winter time, people tend to get depressed up here in Canada with all the snow and all the darkness. Right?
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys are a local band for me actually, because I'm out of Ontario as well, right? So you guys are just north. I'm out of Barrie. Technically, would be the closest city, right?
We were just playing there on the weekend. Yeah, that's awesome.
No, I seen them, man. My first question: playing now. Are the places opening up? Because I've been here for a while now. I don't quite know what's going on.
Honestly, I don't know how strict the venues have been, but we've only played 2 shows. We played in Barrie last Sunday, so we did like a Sunday show. Pretty cool bands. Who did we play with? Dead Beyond Fear. They're another kind of Barrie band that's kind of up and coming. So those guys are pretty sick.
Another band I've been bugging.
Yeah. They were really cool guys. So they brought us up there for that show. We played at a place downtown that I've never been to before, but I guess it's been there for a long time. The Queen's Hotel.
Oh, I know the place. I've never been there for a show yet, but I do know where you're talking about.
Yeah. So we played there Sunday. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. Carry on. There's a bit of a delay. Sorry about
I'll let you know right now. I ramble. I tend to ramble. So cut me off.
Okay, no, you ramble along.
Hey, this stage is actually your stage to get it. Your stuff, though. We want
please.
It's not about us today.
Thanks so much. But yeah, so we've only done the 2 shows. We did Barrie Sunday, which was awesome. We also played Oshawa, which is kind of like our home base, I guess. We did that last month. So that was actually the first time that we'd played a show as this current lineup. You know, in the past, before the pandemic hit, we were kind of a 3-piece band for a while. I was playing bass. I wasn't on guitar. So we did a bit of a switcheroo. We brought in a new bass player, a new guitar player, a new vocalist. And both of those guys have been awesome. You know, they fit right in and kind of blended in with the band, and they've kind of brought in a whole new energy. And I see Kyle's actually just joined the chat right now, so he's our new vocalist. He's awesome.
I'm kind of running off my tablet for the show. I'm running off the tablet for the show, so she's looking up comments now to say hello to everybody.
Yes, we just want to say hello to everybody quickly, because usually the comments come on the tablet. But this is South Africa, so technology is limited at this stage. So we're doing it on 2 devices. So we've got Hollywood, and Hollywood's also from, how do you pronounce it? Oshawa.
Oh, she's from Oshawa.
Right,
yes, Hollywood's also from Oshawa. So shout out to Hollywood. Hi. And then you said Kyle's from the band.
He's from the band. He's joined the chat. I guess he couldn't help himself. He wanted to.
Hi, Kyle. Thanks for joining the chat. That's amazing. And then we've got Jamie. Hi, Jamie.
Hey, she's all the way from New York.
Oh, nice, nice.
Nice.
How long have you guys been playing together?
Well, like I say, is this lineup honestly only about a year, maybe, give or take. But things have been moving quickly. I'd say we've done probably more in this last year than we have in the last few years. So the band itself started, I want to say, 2006. So it's gone through a number of different iterations, a lot of different lineup changes over the years. It's pretty hard to keep, obviously, the same lineup of guys together for that long. I don't even know, is it 16 years, something like that now? So yeah, it's gone through a bunch of different sort of versions, but this one's going strong. Like I said, we've got a new lineup. Everybody's sort of pulling the rope. We're all on board, kind of trying to move the ship forward the same way. So it just feels, like I say, that there's a whole new energy to it. The tunes are cool. Like the music's fun to play. So we're having a good time with it, and people seem to be responding to it well. You know, the shows that we were playing, people were calling for encores, and, you know, we're not totally used to that, you know, being kind of a smaller band. No. It was pretty cool.
Awesome. So
yeah,
you guys have kept basically the same style, though, even though you've changed members of this or that. For what I've heard and what I showing her today, because obviously she's never heard of you guys, right? So I was like, this is our band tonight. Listen to this. We're doing this.
We're kind of a mashup.
Just rocking out, right? So
I must say I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I hope to see you guys live when I get there. So that's the plan, to see as many bands live before I die.
So,
well, I mean, right now, you might as well do it while you can, right? So I hope to see you guys there too.
I'm telling you. COVID's not making it easy, but I'm a cannot die kind of lady. So COVID's not keeping me back. Because
of COVID, I had to get like 30 shots to even come here and take a bunch of pills and then a bunch of juice. But hey,
you made it. Right? You had to sacrifice a little to get something, right? So that's just the way.
You have to.
No sense crying about it. You got to just roll with the punches, right? So. Yeah. That's cool. So, but yeah, no, like you were asking me earlier, just about the venues. I was just saying the shows, they seem normal to me. I was expecting to go in and, you know, for it to be really kind of, I hate to say it, but kind of an oppressive atmosphere with the masks and all that. And it seemed kind of optional at the two shows that we played. Some people were doing it, some people weren't. I mean, everybody in there is vaccinated, so I think that people feel a little bit more comfortable to kind of come out of the house and interact. But it just seemed like people were really happy to be, you know, living again and seeing live music and being around their friends and like-minded individuals. So really cool stuff.
Well, it's like when I came here, I already said this a bunch. When I came to Death Fest, when she was like, come, we're going to Death Fest. Poof, I'm on the plane, fucking going to Death Fest, man. And it was no different than, say, being in Toronto or being in London or being in New York or fucking, I've been all the way to Chicago and stuff to see concerts. Right. And it was the same. It was the same people, the same atmosphere, the same vibe. Music's the same.
420 friendly.
That was weird. Being able to just burn a doob right there. Nobody said shit. Have a cigarette. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, to go outside was the non-smoking section.
That's how we do it in South Africa. We chase the non-smokers outside. You want fresh air, go stand there.
No, not to go.
Well, it's basically like Canada 15, 20 years ago then, with the smoking indoors.
Yeah, it's true. Right?
I remember smoking in bars.
Yeah, and same here. I remember not so much smoking on airplanes, but I remember I wasn't far behind that.
I've seen ads as well. I also don't remember it, but they also used to smoke anywhere in South Africa, anywhere in the hospitals, everywhere.
Didn't matter.
I think at one point it was like that everywhere.
I forget what I was going to say, though. That was a really awesome question, too.
Okay, so can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
For people that's watching that hasn't heard your music before, how would you describe your music to them?
I think that we're, you know, if I had to describe it to somebody who wasn't into metal subgenres or didn't know the difference, I would say we're a metal band at the end of the day. But we do have a variety of different kind of influences, I think, all of us. I don't really listen to metal all the time myself. It's more something that I would say hypes me up and gets me going. But I listen to all sorts of different music. I think the band does. But I think that we have elements of, you know, death metal, deathcore, slam kind of music. but I'd say it's kind of got a really sort of tribal vibe to it. So yeah, it's just the type of music that you can easily get into, I think, and just kind of nod your head and mosh to. And I think that's what people kind of gravitate towards. We're not trying to be the most complicated, the most technical band in the world. I don't think we could do that if we tried. So, you know, we just try to play to our strengths. And, you know, we just want to make people have a good time, mosh their brains out, and, you know, feel like they went home and got out all their anger.
Well, there's being on both sides where I played on the stage and also been in the crowd. That's the best therapy ever after all the drugs and therapy and self-medication, per se.
Yeah.
When I leave a concert, I'm at that point where I'm one with myself. I finally know who I am at this point. You know what I mean? And it's like,
and that's the thing. It's cathartic. It's cathartic, right? You feel like it's a release. It's almost like going and getting a massage for me, in a way. After we played last weekend, I looked around and all of us are just drenched in sweat. You know, we look exhausted after playing for, I don't know, 40 minutes. So yeah, it's just go up there and let it all out. And like I say, it's kind of a cathartic sort of experience, I think, for the audience too. You can see them vibing off the energy. You can see them headbanging, the smiles on their faces. So it's awesome in that way. And I think that's what metal is all kind of about. I think it's all about that energy. A lot of people tend to mix it up and think it's a hateful kind of thing, but I've never seen it that way. I see it as more, this is me getting angry. This is me, you know, feeling powerful. I think it's an empowering kind of form of music.
It is.
You go ahead.
And the growling and the vocals and everything, it's soothing. It soothes my soul.
The aggression.
Yes, I can't explain it. It's difficult to explain to somebody that doesn't listen to metal.
I can look take the Pit. Everyone looks at that like a very violent, very aggressive and hardcore thing. But if you fall down, there's 10 people picking you up. You know what I mean? Like, patting you on the back. Are you okay? You need water. What do you need? You know what I mean? And then, but nothing else stops. But yet, it's a controlled chaos.
That's the perfect word, controlled chaos.
Controlled chaos.
But everybody's looking for their fellow metalhead for sure. Like you say, like if somebody falls down, you pick them up. That's just pit etiquette 101. But you know, something like I've been going to shows myself, even probably since the 90s, metal hardcore shows, and it's always kind of been that way. I've found with the metal community, the hardcore community, you know, people tend to support each other for the most part, and like I say, people are sort of looking out for each other too, which is awesome.
They are. Do you guys have any big plans for 2022, seeing that there's only 2 weeks left in 2021, which freaks me out, by the way. I'm like, geez, 2022.
I know, time flies, right? But no, we definitely have things in the works. This was a big year for us. Like I say, we just put out an album on the 3rd of December. It's called We Are All Scum. We got signed. That was pretty cool. So
nice
for us. So we're on one of the, as far as I know, the bigger and more awesomer Canadian sort of death metal focused labels. CDN Records, so shout out to them for signing us. Basically what happened is we were putting out the new CD. They caught wind of it. I guess they liked it enough and they wanted to get behind it, so that was pretty sweet. So definitely we plan on putting out another album. I don't know if it'll come out next year, but at the rate that things have been kind of moving, I wouldn't be surprised. And you know, we do have plans for maybe some more guests. We didn't really do a lot of guest vocals on this album. We actually didn't do any, but we're thinking we might get some guest vocals on the next album from, you know, some bands that are really hot right now and that people are kind of gravitating towards and are making waves.
Oh, I can't wait to hear that, man.
Can we please be the first ones to interview you guys when you drop that list?
I think we could probably work that out. Yeah, that would be sweet for sure.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, because I think that
I'm gonna go over here and cry a little bit. I'll be right back.
Why? Because I said yes.
I'm fanboying over here, man. That's very rare. I've only done it a couple times on the show.
Oh, you have a little boy crush.
I'm a fanboy.
I'm a fanboy, baby.
I can't wait to get back to Canada and see you guys play live. Like, fuck, I'm just blown away.
Well,
right?
like I say, we're not that far, so I'm sure it'll happen.
Yeah, no.
When are you coming back this way? Any idea?
I'm actually going to fly out a bit early because of some circumstances with political and family and all this other shit that's going on in the world.
Hey man, I don't
go home. I'm probably here for at least a couple of years.
No, I don't think it will be that long, but
right?
Yeah, because apparently they might be locking down Canada again, or not letting anybody out of South Africa if that window period, and he needs to get back outside. Yeah, so it's actually screwing a bit with the plans.
It is. We had big plans.
We did. We
still got accomplished a lot, though.
We did.
We nailed the coffee deal.
We nailed the coffee deal and the shoe deal and
the shale deal.
Yes, and our merchants.
You like coffee, my friend.
I mean, I think 94% of the world population drinks coffee, right?
Yeah.
I'm having coffee right now.
I have to reconfirm with the other partners back in Montreal as of tomorrow when we do the group meeting for the coffee thing. But I think TheBoneYard and another band are teaming up. Well, Late Night Trouble, they're fucking amazing. Look them up. We are making our own coffee, and I think we have a supplier now.
You know them.
And where do you guys? Sorry?
Oh, Late Night Trouble. Do you know that band?
I don't know that band, no.
I will send you some links to some stuff.
Okay.
Yes, you should.
With your genre of music and how you guys play, you guys should definitely know Deadwood, Dead Man's Prophecy, Last Dance Among Wolves. I will introduce you to the main
some of
dude.
It might sound familiar, yeah.
Yeah. But Late Night Trouble are more for the last band we just had on. Dishes and Whiskey.
Yes.
They're more of rock and roll and fucking
that's
good
true.
vibes. Not that what we want, that fucking smash each other shit, you know?
Right.
How does your creative process work? Do you write the songs? Is it a band collaboration?
We're pretty collaborative. I'd have to give a lot of the credit to our drummer, actually. He's a very sort of overall kind of talented musician. His name's Kenny. He's actually sort of the founding member of the band. He's been the guy who's sort of stuck through since everything started back in the day. So he's been extremely dedicated, obviously, in the whole process from the start. But I think that we all kind of have our say on it, and we won't really go with something until everybody's kind of happy with it. But yeah, I think like I'll contribute riffs to it. I'll contribute ideas for lyrics. And the other guys are kind of the same way. Kyle obviously is a very talented vocalist, as well as a talented lyricist. So he handles a lot of that. But it's definitely a collaborative effort. We're all really focused on what the overall message is going to be and what the overall output would be. So it's definitely all of us kind of pulling the rope.
I think that's why it gels so much, and why like today, like no one told me to turn it off.
Yes, no, everybody.
I put you guys on shuffle and fucking played every song you had. We did dishes and cooked and cleaned, right? Like
we did do that.
So you guys heard the new stuff, I guess, that we did?
We just put out?
Sweet.
We put it on shuffle, so right now I'm not familiar with which ones are new and which ones are old.
The new one, the metal red hand with the fucking title on.
Okay, so I'll go on Spotify and then I'll listen to the new ones.
Yeah, on Spotify. There's actually 2 videos that we just put out recently in the last month or so for both of them. So we have one for the title track, which is We Are All Scum. And then we had another video, which is kind of more like a live performance with some sort of acting and that kind of thing. It was a little bit more of like a dramatic presentation. That one's called Unmarked Scalps. We had Beheading the Traitor. They put that out through their channel about a month ago, maybe a little over a month ago. But that's been getting really good response, a lot of views on that one. So yeah, you can definitely watch everything on, or hear everything on Spotify, but you can watch it on YouTube as well. And if you haven't already checked out the videos, by all means, you should do that too.
Definitely will. I haven't.
Oh yeah, we'll check them
No,
out.
we'll definitely check them out.
Because we're on
Awesome.
breakfast duty tomorrow.
We're on breakfast duty. Yo, we actually have to wake up very, very early tomorrow morning. We've got a hike. At the Pretoria Botanical Gardens, and it's my 40th birthday tomorrow.
Wow. Happy birthday.
Death Fest?
And my 40th.
Your birthday.
Yes, it's my 40th. So it's a big one.
So you guys are celebrating with Death Fest and the Botanical Gardens?
Yes.
Yes. No. We celebrated with Death Fest about 2 weeks ago, because Death Fest was about 2 weeks ago.
That's why I flew in so early.
So tomorrow morning we've got the hike, and then there's a band, that we interviewed, Joy Club Cassidy, which is a punk band.
They've been on both our shows.
Yeah, they've been on both the shows. Also, amazing band. And they're doing a Green Day tribute.
Nice.
So we're going. Yeah, so we're going to a Green Day tribute tomorrow night. So that's going to be awesome. Yeah.
I think Green Day was probably, I think it was actually the first concert I ever went to. Green Day.
I was, one of my next kind of question is like your first concert, your first introduction to music, and your influences on when it comes to like playing and writing. Like what bands?
Yeah. Like as far back as I can tell, like my dad was really into like blues. So I heard a lot of blues music growing up, a lot of old rock and roll music. So I kind of gravitated towards playing an instrument probably around the time I was 12, something like that. But I got into the bands of the day, the Nirvanas, the Soundgardens, the Green Days, all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, I definitely remember going to see Green Day when they were on the Dookie tour. I think it was Dookie.
Oh, they
back in the day.
Tour.
So that was like their kind of breakthrough. Yeah. But that was fun. Like I don't really follow that kind of stuff so much now. I know they're probably still a band, Green Day, but yeah, that was probably my sort of introduction to it.
Put on. Right.
And then just sort of further on that, my cousin was playing in bands, like he was in metal bands and that sort of thing. He was a drummer. So I remember when I was really young, probably too young, he put on like Fucking Hostile by Pantera, and I kind of got exposed to metal at an early age. And just,
you also listen to that today.
Right, and the rest is history, right? So that's kind of where it all started, I would say. But I keep an open mind to it. Like I like a lot of different stuff. I'm just probably not so familiar with like maybe the pop music so much. I don't, people are always telling me like, oh, have you heard this or that? And I have no idea what they're talking about. If it's on the radio, I probably haven't heard it.
No, that's the thing with our genre of music. The radio don't play our shit. Other than Joey at 97.7, he's been on the show a few times. I haven't talked to him in a while. I should fucking reach out to him, but he started the Metal Beyond 11 or whatever the fuck it is on 97.7, and that's it.
Right.
Like,
and that's like a local station around here, right?
Where do you go to a radio station and say play my music and then they listen to it, dude? Like, no offense, but you're like Deadwood and like Empire D'Amour and Your Last Wish. You guys are just so heavy and real and raw that
it's not accessible. It's not accessible to the average music listener for sure. And you have to know that going in and kind of embrace it. But I think also nowadays you have to understand too that I think where people where they get their music has changed too. So you have to go, I think, where the audience is. And I think the audience, honestly, for what we do is online. It's an underground kind of community still. Even the bands that are doing this at a high level, it's still an underground kind of community. So I think you have to do it online, and you just have to stay constantly in touch with the people who do sort of follow you or who like what you're doing. Since we've kind of kicked things back into kind of high gear, I guess, coming through COVID here, we've really tried to pay attention to that, just sort of going where the audience is, making sure that everything's sort of available to them and that you're coordinating, your releases so everything sort of lines up and that they know where to find it.
I've noticed a lot of bands since COVID has happened, they've had these albums, but They've released them as EPs. Here's a single. Just
Yep.
waiting to be able to fucking tour with this album that they're gonna put out, but it's song by song by song by song, you know, like it's no longer here's our fucking album and we're on tour next week, right? Like no, here's a song 10 weeks later, here's another you know, that's gotta be a bit hard. Like
I think what you're seeing is the record labels and stuff too don't have like a stranglehold on artists the way that they used to. I think that the record labels now are just basically a glorified kind of, I don't know, pimp. So people can do it all themselves, right? Like we're all self-produced and everything, and you know we do our own albums and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think you really need to rely on that as much, and you can just go direct. And I think it's easier sometimes just to be able to release a song if you want to, not to have to put out an entire album. You know, 2 months from now, if we want to put out a single, we can do it. We don't really have to run that by anybody, even though we are on a label they understand what we're doing.
Put your name out there. It still intrigues your fans to be. This is
and I think with social media, it makes promoting your own band much easier than when there was no social media. You needed somebody to push your music and stuff. So, do you think it's easier to get signed as a metal band in now than it was a couple of years ago?
I don't know. Actually, that's a good question. I don't think that we were like relying on being signed or anything like that. It's just like the level that we're at. It just gives us a little bit of help. It helps financially. It helps with distribution. It doesn't put all the weight on us. So I'm not sure if it would have been easier a few years ago, but it feels like there's a real resurgence of metal happening in the last couple of years. I'm noticing that there's a lot more people paying attention to it again. It kind of comes and goes in waves, but there's always that undercurrent of people who stay, right? So I think that it's definitely growing. I'm starting to see a little bit more mainstream acceptability of it. I'm starting to see bands, you know, on TV. Like I saw like a punk band did like a late night show, Turnstile. I would have never 2 or 3 years ago pictured Turnstile being on a late night Craig Kilborn or whatever it was. So I'm just starting to see a little bit of that kind of thing going on. Like Code Orange has been blowing up a lot. They've been on like WWE wrestling and all this.
Code Orange. Fuck, I've seen them live twice now. I seen them in Chicago at the open air festival or whatever when we all drove down and we took the boat home. But then when they came to Toronto the first time ever, I drove to the Opera House thinking, they're gotta be here. No, they're at the Mad Club, other side of fucking Toronto. So my buddies are already all there, so I fly down there. Fuck, probably the third greatest show I've ever seen, man.
Really?
It was.
They were headlining that one?
Yeah, that was their headliner.
Cool.
So I recognized them in Chicago. They were just on the little stage, middle of the fucking day. Blew my mind. And then when I got to see them again, top 3 concerts I've ever seen, man. Code Orange, 100%.
But I mean, they're a pretty extreme genre band, I would say. At least they were. I don't know what their new stuff sounds like, but they, like they're on TV. Like I say, they're on WWE and all this kind of stuff. You wouldn't have seen that, I don't think, quite so much 5 or 10 years ago. So I think that maybe like corporate America or whatever you want to call it, maybe they're focusing on what's going on online and you know what people are into that way and seeing. The cool thing about like the internet, YouTube, whatever, is anyone can kind of blow up. You know, you don't need somebody to select you. You don't need a record label to handpick you and say, you know, this is what we're going to push. If the audience responds to it, the audience responds to it, and you know, the court of public opinion will have its say, and in terms of how successful you are. But I think for a band like us, you know, we just have to get our name out there. We have to put everything out there for people, and I think the way that we grow our fan base is just through playing shows. You know, actually meeting people.
Yeah. So what other bands that you guys play with that we should be also listening to? Like what other bands should we be supporting that are also playing with you and being the local scene?
In our scene, some are local, some are bands that are right in our scene, but they're good friends of ours. Bands that I really like that we've played with recently, Beyond Deviation. Those guys are awesome. They're out of Quebec. They actually just put out some new stuff, I think, just a few days ago. But unreal in terms of just like, if you want something with insane vocals and really, really kind of down-tuned, grimy, dissonant guitars and drums and everything, Beyond Deviation's wicked. They were actually the ones that did that compilation song, I think last year. It was the 400, and it had like 400 metal vocalists from around the world, all sort of partaking on one track. So
wow.
So all sorts of singers are on that are really awesome, really talented guys. 2 guys from our band did it. Kyle's on it. Our old singer Kenny, who's now our drummer, is on that as well. So I would say Beyond Deviation for sure. Another band that I would have to shout out that we toured with last year, the year before, I guess the year before, we did a run. We brought them up from Texas to come and play with us. Hunt the Dinosaur. I don't know if you've ever heard Hunt the Dinosaur. But
I personally have. Yes.
So if you haven't heard Hunt the Dinosaur, you're going to want to check that out. Check them out on YouTube and Spotify. Insane.
I'm definitely going to download them now.
And just
interviews.
Since I've been here. Yeah.
Hunt the Dinosaur are awesome guys. Just the sweetest guys too. Sweetest dudes in the world. Really fun to be around. So yeah, those would be the 2 big ones that I can think of off the top of my head that are really making waves and moving things.
My next question, Ilsa. Music here. Who should we be listening to from South Africa?
Oh, all of them. I always forget the names. And I'm gonna. If you want a pen, I'm gonna ramble some amazing names down. We've got Volvadinia, we've got Sunken State, Facing the Gallows, Red Helen, Human Nebula, Riddle Break, Chaos Doctrine, Nameless Dread. On the top of my head, that's the ones that I can remember now. Yeah. And then go listen to the song Police Brutality with
collaboration.
Yeah, the collaboration, Human Nebula song with the collaboration with most of the names that I just mentioned now as well. It dropped a couple of weeks ago.
You also listen to a few South African bands, do you not? We were talking backstage. I don't want to go into detail, but
yeah, I mean, Volvadinia is the big one that I know of, and I've only come to really know them probably in the last 2 or 3 years. But I know a lot of our guys really look up to them, like their music a lot. Obviously, they're a really talented, really heavy band. So. But yeah, I hear there's a lot of good shit coming out of South Africa for sure. Definitely, I hear it's got a big metal scene. I've never been to South Africa. I don't know that much about the country, but I'm hearing that the bands are good. And if there are anything even close to as good as Volvadinia, then count me in for sure.
Dude, I gotta say, being a foreigner in this country, it's not National Geographic. Like Canadians, we say Americans. We watch National Geographic. We see this shit. You say it's a third world country, but it's not. You have running water. We have power most of the time. Like we can go to the grocery store here. There's a beer store. Like
you're talking to me on the internet, so I mean that's a good sign.
Exactly. We got Wi-Fi.
Do not be afraid to come here. And if you want to come here, let us know. We have a spot for you guys to stay. And
we would appreciate that. I hope we can do that. That would be sweet for sure. I don't think we're unwilling to go anywhere. Like we would love to tour if it were possible, right? It's just all the logistics of making it happen that are the hard part. Like before the pandemic, we had I think like something like 45 shows kind of all set up, ready to go, all over Canada. We were planning even at one point to go down to Mexico. So we want to get out there and do it. It's just a matter of, if the powers that be will let it happen. Hopefully they will.
Do you guys have merch that you're selling at the moment? And if you do, where can people find it?
Your merch, your
CD, shirts,
Yeah, we sell it all at shows, but we've got an online store as well. Big Cartel. So it's like in the act of violence.big cartel. Don't quote me on that. It's something like that. We do have a link to it on our Facebook, Instagram for sure. We plan on doing another merch run soon, but we do have a bunch of stuff up there right now. Old stock, odd sizes, that kind of stuff that we're moving out right now for good prices. So it's a good thing you brought that up. We could definitely use the support like a lot of us can right now for sure. Keeps us going anyway.
Do the show, whether it's local to myself, local to you. We have bands from Ireland we represent, fucking Sweden, all over. It's the local
music's
scene.
good. We just want to share people's music.
Yeah.
Because I always say nobody ever says no if you want to play them a new song. Nobody ever says no.
A new band? Definitely I do, you know, fucking like.
Yeah.
So what is the one song, if there's one song that you've ever heard in your life that you wish you never heard, what is the one song that just you wish you could unhear?
Do you ask people this all the time? Is this a question?
Yes, when I remember, because I always want to know, because there's always some song where you go, fuck, I wish I never heard this song. It's horrible.
Okay. So most people probably have to think about that. I don't. Dude looks like a lady. Aerosmith. I hate it.
No, that's one of my favorite songs. I fucking love that song.
Oh man,
okay.
Aerosmith.
You asked me, that's the one. I hate that song, but that's just me. I know a lot of people love it.
I'm a metal fan. I listen to metal. I haven't heard metal on your playlist not once.
I know. Leave me alone. I've got a metal playlist. Yeah. I do have one. But my normal playlist has so many because I've got a liked playlist. So anything I like, I put on there. So it's got over the 3,000 songs.
I agree.
So most of the times I'm on my liked one and I literally go and just press shuffle. Because my radio, my phone is always constantly playing music. So you can't just listen to heavy metal 24/7. Wow. There's a time we can, but there's a time and a place for everything. And it's and so I'm always on my liked one. But I do have some heavy songs on there. I went to Death Fest and I know the people.
We had dinner with a few of the people the night before, right? So
yes.
With some of the bands. Oh, hello.
Yes. My daughter's boyfriend is the guitarist for Human Nebula, and then he's a guitarist for Riddle Break as well. And then he's in Higher Rate. Oh no, he's in Joy Club Cassidy, Human Nebula, and then he's in Higher Rate as well. Which is also a local band. Another one that I forgot to shout out. Shout out to Higher Rate. Sorry guys. So
the fact that you can just rattle all these names off the top of your head is impressive. I think I've had too many concussions, and I think I did too much acid in high school that there's no way that I can do that. So very good on you. Your memory's it's like a lockbox. That's solid.
Yeah. I hear you.
Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I don't know where the bathroom is. So
yeah.
That's happened a few times to a couple of us.
She's got a few pictures she's gonna post. We broke the Canadian, but I got up every morning and was there for breakfast, baby. So
in South Africa, day drinking is a very big thing. So the first week DJ was here, he was sitting downstairs with another couple of South Africans living in the house with us. So South Africans know how to drink, and
right there with Canadians.
Right there with the Canadians. But they broke the Canadian twice now already. Twice.
Once for real.
Once for real, and then once he was just sleeping.
I fell down the stairs. Fucked up.
You got a boo-boo.
You got a boo-boo in South Africa.
As a Canadian, I landed between all the steel and all the plate glass that was laying there.
And nothing broke.
That's incredible.
I didn't die. I got up the next day.
Classic.
Oh, it's all good, all good.
Yeah, well, people like to drink here. That's. I think that's universal. It seems like in most countries you go to, people seem to love drinking.
All about the States. But you come to Canada.
So that is also a plan, but let me first just get into the States and then we'll worry about Canada after that.
Where in the US do you plan on going?
I don't know yet.
Probably Florida.
Yes. So probably Florida. Yes. Every time something gets planned, the route changes. The destination never changes, but how to get there and where I'm going changes because nothing's set in stone. It's just getting on the plane and going to America. Yeah, there's no plan. So
I would agree with TJ. Go to Florida.
My lifelong dream, I think I'm going through my midlife crisis, being I've got 3 kids. I'm a mother of 3 kids. So I started 20 years ago to raise kids, and my youngest is 6 at the moment. So it's the right stage for me to go because she lives with her dad and everything. So I literally just started making plans and knew where I wanted to go. And it's taken me almost 3 years to get to this point. It's been a long
talking in friends that long.
No, not 3 years. That was just before. Yes,
I have no concept.
It's about a year and a half. It's about a year and a half. Yes. That we've been talking about Stone Daisies, but Stone Daisies has been in the works for about 3 years that we've trying to build the brand and everything. So our podcast I host with my daughter. She's my oldest daughter. She's 20. Sit
on. She's climbing on your back.
No, this is the youngest one.
Yeah.
So she just wants to be in the shot.
Yeah.
Say hello to the people. Come now, sit.
The show, you never know what's gonna happen.
You never know what's gonna happen. She's also a little metalhead. I've got a TikTok where she's lying on the bed eating Fruit Loops with Thou Art. Is it Thou Art is Murder?
Yeah.
Thou Art Murder. Thou Art Murder playing in the background, and she's like eating her Fruit Loops, watching TV. I'm like, oh, growing up this little metalhead.
That's funny. My girlfriend has a 3-year-old, and she loves our music. Loves it. Like she'll get in the car. Get in the car with her
big fan.
She'll say, and the funny thing is because she just knows they're screaming and growling, and it's kind of a scary sound, I guess, to her at that age. So she'll ask her to put on spooky songs. She'll be like, "What do you want to hear? Spooky songs." And she'll actually throw a fit sometimes if they don't put on In the Act of Violence or whatever. So it's pretty hilarious. But she, who else does she like? She likes that, the name's escaping. Who's the deathcore band out of Russia that everyone, Slaughter to Prevail, I think. Is that right? Slaughter to Prevail. Oh, yeah, she loves that too. Loves it. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but she just goes bananas for that. So yeah, it's kind of funny, but like kids at that age can love heavy metal so much.
I know.
Teach them from a young age.
Right away, as soon as you hear it. I was a little late in life, but when I heard it,
me too. I was also a little bit late.
I never looked back. You know what I mean? Like it was fucking.
It was.
Where my parents like, you should go to therapy. Your music is very disturbing. I'm like, what do you mean? Right.
We'll never get it. Don't worry. Some people just will never get it. But yeah. Go ahead.
How did you guys meet as a band? How did you get to, okay, these 4 guys, let's start a band?
Well, we didn't meet on like Tinder or anything like that. I guess that's the popular way people meet today. So I've known the drummer forever. Kenny and I are like friends going back 20 plus years. So we've always kind of played in bands and played music together off and on throughout the years. And then Kyle and Jesse, Kyle's our new vocalist, Jesse's our new bassist. Those guys, they were playing in a band, and we kind of poached them from that band. So we said, "You're coming to play with us now," and they said, "Okay." So just knowing those guys kind of through the scene, like we knew Kyle through. He's always been a hardworking musician, so we kind of knew him for a little while just through playing shows with them or running into them here and there. So when we kind of decided that we were going to try something new, go with a different lineup, go with an entirely different sound, we definitely wanted to give it a try with him, and just his level of dedication to it was really unparalleled. I can't give him enough credit in terms of sort of how hard he's worked on it. And I would say the same for Jesse and Kenny as well. They've really, like I say, just been trying to drive this thing forward, and everyone's taking it seriously, which is always good. So And we've been having a lot of fun.
About of Ontario is the community. Like when I met Johnny Eyeball from fucking, I'm gonna forget the name now. I'll get back to that, but
that's a cool
the
name.
Community that's involved in the music scene, like they'll, your bass player's sick. Fuck, I know your riffs. I'll play your riffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like the backup goaltender, right?
Yeah. Even tonight, the Brothers went to go play. And they're only a 2-person act in Hamilton there, and fucking the drummer was sick, and then all of a sudden the drummer was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna play," but the other drummer was gonna fill in. You know, it was pretty cool to watch the whole conversation go down. You know, like being backstage privileged in that sense. You know.
You know who I think might have us beat is the province of Quebec. Those guys are insane. The metal musicians out there. I don't know. I don't even know how many times we've played with awesome bands from Quebec, whether it be Beyond Deviation, our other friends in a band called Clitoris. I don't know if you've ever heard Clitoris, but they're off the charts, just wild. Featuring members of Suffocation, Annihilator. Like they're an awesome band. Those guys are wicked. But I've seen them with fill-in drummers. And you wouldn't even know it. And these guys are just blast beating at 300 BPM, and just blows your mind that just a filling guy can do that. So Quebec is just full of insane musicians in death metal and beyond.
Say since I've started doing the show, I've probably done more Quebec, Montreal bands than anywhere else in the world, man. Like you got Late Night Trouble, you got fucking Deadwood. Empire de More, Your Last Wish, like Dead Man's Prophecy, which gave me a custom-made shirt that I helped promote them, and I went party with them. Last Dance Amongst Wolves, I could go on and on and on. Like it's just
a lot of great bands coming out of Quebec. Another one to check out too. Also friends of ours that did that tour with us with Hunt the Dinosaurs, Observance, out of Quebec City. Those guys shred and they're awesome. They're like a 2-vocalist kind of band, so really kind of interesting sort of, I guess you call it kind of like a really heavy metalcore kind of vibe. But a lot of good Quebec bands. It's almost like there's just something in the water there. They just churn them out. I don't know what it is. The musicians are just excellent.
It blew my mind when I finally realized music, is what the show is going to be about. And then next thing I know, I'm in Montreal every other weekend, or Quebec, all these bands, right?
Yeah.
Huge shout out to Maximum out there. He's the one that promotes a lot of these fucking bands and shit. And
shout out.
Helps do all that shit.
Yeah, it's good. I think in every community around like Ontario, Quebec, there's a few guys doing it, and a lot of them, for the most part, from what I can tell, are really passionate about it and are really doing a good job.
No, it's true. So a weird question before we fucking
wrap her up.
Wherever. Who are you not listening to, or who are you listening to? Sorry, that is not metal. Like something that's just fucking totally
something that people might not expect.
Yes.
I can't really speak for the other guys in the band. That's probably a mixed bag, but I think for me, I'm listening to I listen to a lot of like softer kind of music, a lot of synth-based kind of music. So I'm into like the classics, obviously the Depeche Modes, The Cure, all that kind of vibe. I like that sort of stuff. I actually like putting on like synthwave kind of music as well, or like witch house kind of music when I'm just sort of chilling if I'm in the background, like ambient kind of stuff. So I think that would be kind of the other side of the spectrum to what I listen to when I'm not, listening to brutal slamming technical death metal or something. But I'm all over the map. I like sounds. I just like sound. I like soundscapes. I'm kind of the guy in the band. Although we're not like a really super experimental all over the place band, I'm the guy who will be sitting down there with 100 guitar pedals connected together, tweaking out sounds on our albums, just to kind of put things in there orally that you might not necessarily hear on a first listen, but might come through on further examination, I guess. So yeah, I'm just kind of a fan of sound and noise.
Well, I noticed that like Deadwood is a huge one too for me. They're brutally honest, brutally heavy.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are right there with them for me as far as that goes.
And they're from like Montreal area?
Yeah, they're from Quebec, Montreal area. I will make sure you guys get introduced because on tour, you guys would gel. You guys are right there. That same.
I'll Deadwood. I'll check it out today. Actually, I got some time, so I'll listen for sure.
I'll send you a link over once the show's done. I'll go right away, pull a link off the Spotify, send it over so you can check it out, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you can connect us with bands, I'm down with that.
Yeah,
yes,
definitely.
I'll forward you the Stone Daisy page as well, and then you can check out the bands that we interviewed, some of the names that we all showed.
Quite a few diverse. You guys are very diverse.
We
on your show.
We are very diverse.
More of the metal, the more of the hardcore scene.
Yeah,
right.
You guys
we're more metal, but we do interview other bands as well, and sometimes solo artists and stuff, because all our music, our whole music community, there's some amazing talent out there, so we try and promote everybody. So
a lot of people can get really bogged down, I think, on genres and that sort of thing, but I don't. I think the main thing is I can respect any bands, or I can get into a lot of bands just if they have spirit, if they have heart, if they're doing something that I can tell is it's genuine, right? If it feels real and genuine, then I can get behind that. So, yeah.
Give me 5 seconds. My Afrikaans just wanted to pop out here. Sorry, English is my second language, and sometimes my brain's too fast in Afrikaans, and then I want to say the sentence in Afrikaans. Is there anything that if you could change anything in the music scene that you think shouldn't be there, was not a good thing, what would it be?
I would say the idea, the elitism, like I was getting back to, like we were just talking about genres, the amount of ridiculous, closed-minded things that I've heard over the years from people either in the scene or who attend shows, whatever. It's ridiculous. And I mean, like there's always going to be critics. It's the easiest thing you can be as a critic. It's much easier to not do something and just criticize other people. But I would say just that sort of mentality, the we're better than you, we're not going to help you kind of mentality. I don't look down on any bands really if they're out there trying. I think it's really important to, at the very least, be supportive. It might not be your cup of tea, but that's okay. Not everything's for you. So I think just the people who can't help themselves, but I think you're going to find those people no matter where you go in life. The naysayers, the people who, like I say, like to criticize others while doing nothing to add anything of value or substance themselves. So that would be what I would remove, especially in metal, would be that sort of elitist kind of sort of viewpoint,
ignorance in that sense.
Yes.
You don't take the time to look at what they're even saying. Oh, I just hear screaming. Well, maybe watch their lyric video and actually see what they're saying. Stuff, you know what I mean?
Sometimes it's not even all about the lyrics necessarily. Sometimes it's just about the vibe, and either it vibes with you or it don't. So. But I mean, like our music.
After they perform.
Yeah, because everybody, like I know myself, regardless what instruments I play, or if I'm in the kitchen just cooking and singing, I put everything into that. Then, like, people don't. They're too busy looking down at their fucking phones to realize what's going on in the world, and to feel they've lost touch with that vibration in life that is music.
Yes,
people have been, I think people are a little too connected with the technology. But the good thing that I've been noticing, at least when we're out playing lately, is like it felt like a really old school show the other day that we played in Barrie, because I didn't really see a whole lot of people on their phones, jerking off on their phones. It was a lot of people just chilling and enjoying the show and like enjoying each other's company, and it's kind of good to see, because you see that everywhere you go nowadays. I've seen people walk right into street signs because they're on their cell phone, right? So Not even joking. I've seen that more than once. But yeah, the act of just being present, I think, is really important. So, you know, who knows what tomorrow will bring. So I try to enjoy it while it lasts, at least, right?
Well, is there anything we've missed, bud? Like, should tell us?
No, I don't think so. You guys have been really gracious with your time. I appreciate you having us on the show, or having me on the show to represent the band. Again, for people who are just tuning in here, we're In the Act of Violence. We're a brutal, slamming death metal kind of deathcore band out of Ontario in the Toronto area. We just put out a new music video, new lyric video in the last month or so. That's available through CDN Records. Otherwise, we will be playing a show next month in our hometown of Oshawa, I believe on the 22nd. And then after that, who knows? But providing that we don't go into lockdowns or anything like that, we plan on just keep going, you know, kind of going strong here and just letting that snowball effect keep going and just keep building. So definitely looking for big things in the future. We're, like I say, probably going to have some awesome guest vocal spots on the next album whenever that comes out, probably sometime next year. But otherwise, yeah, stay tuned.
Excited for that. But
thank you.
I will be out of quarantine when that show happens, and
I hope so.
Try my best to be there.
I hope the world is out of quarantine by the time that we're doing anything like that.
Me too. Keep on hoping that so I can get to America, because I also really want to see you guys live. And then I just want to say thank you for your time and being on the Boneyard and Stone Daisies. And guys, go follow, go like, go listen to these people's music. It is amazing. We'll tag,
Stone Daisies.
So Boneyard.
Properly.
You did, but just let's we say hi. Hello. We're gonna say hi and bye. We've got Tammy. Hi, Tammy.
Love you.
Jesse Smith.
Yes.
Adam. Tammy. Oh, let's say Tammy. Krista. Stefan is also watching. He's not saying anything. He's lurking, but we can see him.
He's lurking.
We've got Corey Palmer, and we've got Javid. This is for you, Javid. Javid says heavy metal, crying birds, and jungle weekends. Rock on. Then we've got Kevin, a very, very good friend of ours. Hi, Kev.
Awesome. We will have him on before I leave.
Yes. And then Alicia. We've got Alicia. Hi, Alicia. And then Javid also says, awesome, TJ, Ilza, and Zach. And then we just want to say thanks, guys, for tuning in. Please share so that we can get the band's music out there, their new CD, their new video and song and everything. And please go listen on Spotify and follow and like and share and just do all those amazing things for us, please. We can't do this without you. We need you guys.
Thank you.
So we can get the music.
Really nice to speak with you both today, and I want to thank you again just for your interest in the band and what we're doing. It means the world to us, and anything you can do to help us get out there, and hopefully we'll see you in the Great White North sooner rather than later. We'd love to have you guys out on the show and bang our heads together for sure.
And I will, if I'm out of quarantine and I'm allowed to come to your show, I will be there 100%, my friend. I will always support your music. I'm a fanboy. Play it loud. Fucking play it loud.
All right,
I look forward to having you guys on again, man. You guys,
we'll do it. We'll do it whenever you want. We're all yours. But maybe you'll get somebody else who's a little who has something else to say next time. Maybe we'll get Kyle or one of the other guys on the podcast. They like to talk more than I do. So
also, that would be amazing.
We've now started Midnight Metal. So on Monday Night Metal.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have you guys on. We have this week Shallow Point.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I've already interviewed Heather. I think her name could be wrong. But I think we have most of the band on this next Monday.
Okay. Yes.
And then the following Monday, man, if you guys want to jump on, I would love to have you guys on.
Yeah. Mondays you're usually good to go, I think. But yeah, just stay in touch. Like I said, it's great to meet you guys. And we'll do it again soon for sure.
Excellent. We will, definitely.
Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Everybody, play it loud, play it proud.
Thanks for joining us.
See you guys.
Bye from South Africa.
Bye from Canada. See you guys.